This episode of Mountain Pass is brought to you by Unsanctioned Real Estate. Dreaming of your own private island or verdant forest free of burdensome taxes and pesky paperwork? Unsanctioned Real Estate has you covered. Are people starting to ask you questions? All you have to say is that you're house sitting for a friend, and that secluded step is all yours. Any place you can think of, and it's yours for the taking. Heck, you want to own your own freaking mountain? We got you. Call Unsanctioned Real Estate today. Ask for Frankie Peanuts. And don't use your real name.
Unsanctioned Real Estate is not liable for any activities that occur on the properties, including but not limited to damage,
dismemberment,
death,
arson,
arrest,
imprisonment,
bad trades,
or overcommitting to the battlefield. Welcome to Mountain Pass, your scenic window into Magic the Gathering. I'm Brandon Amico, here with my amazing co-hosts, Charlotte Schluter and Gabe Johnson.
Hello.
Hello!
How are y'all today?
Doing
Good.
great.
Pretty good.
Good.
The weather's fine.
Yeah, it's
The weather's
beautiful
really
out.
nice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for not right here. It's actually like
It's
89 degrees.
hot in this
Yeah,
weather.
I turned up the heat for you guys.
Thank you.
Before you got here.
We're like McPoyles. Just
Yeah.
love it sticky, and we're drinking
I was like,
warm milk.
I know, and then I offered you a nice warm beverage.
That's true. You actually did.
I did.
And I took it like an idiot.
Like an idiot.
Coffee.
You fell for it.
So, Charlotte, what have you been up to today?
So, let me see. I've done a lot of
Bands! There are bands.
Delightful.
Yeah, I want to interrupt you like
Thanks.
that.
That was great. I loved it.
I didn't really think through that bit. I just wanted to yell.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you Brandon's bands.
Well, I didn't ban them.
You did too.
Not me. I don't even play Legacy.
Don't lie.
You call them up.
Yeah, I call them. I'm like, hey, I have some feelings about Underworld Breach.
Because
I haven't played it.
Because Legacy is near and dear to my heart, maybe, could be, if I want to drop.
It's in your wallet. It's near and dear to your wallet.
Yes. What's in your wallet?
Nothing, because I play Legacy. So speaking of which, there were some bans that happened this week.
There
Let's go over them real quick. Legacy, we'll
Obviously,
start there.
yep.
Underworld Breach is banned. Strangely enough, a cheaper Yawgmoth's Will is broken in a format.
Can you believe it?
Stop it.
Strangely.
Get out of here.
Modern, Once Upon a Time,
That is true.
banned.
Out of here. It's too good.
Outrageous that there were like 3 cards that they had to ban in like every format. Coronavirus
Once.
Drain, like immediately, like in 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less.
Yeah. Good thing they don't do the block sets anymore, because, you know, those were too strong. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
But you know what? People do play a lot of Brawl. Actually, people do play Brawl. I was saying that
Who
sarcastically.
does?
People do on Arena. It's popular.
Is it on
No.
Wednesday?
Golgari.
Oh, my God.
I just have one quick question regarding Brawl.
Yes.
What is Brawl?
Standard Commander.
Oh.
Easily
And
enough
jazz
done.
hands? I
And
like
jazz
that it
hands.
starts with jazz hands.
Yes.
Standard Commander.
That's the
Yeah.
sign of Golos being banned in Brawl.
Oh. Because he made up a whopping 10% of
Well,
the
when you
format.
have all the different commanders and stuff, 10% is a good amount. And also,
Is it?
maybe...
For just standard?
They made the point that
There aren't that many legendary creatures.
It's 5 color. It's
like
5...
Dominaria is not in standard anymore.
There's still a good number.
Alright.
It's a 5 color, and you can use Planeswalkers as your commander in Brawl.
Isn't that Oathbreaker?
Oh, is that
No, that's you have to, and there's like signature spell, but there's not in Brawl. It's not that complicated. I don't know what it's standard commander, and you
But
can use
wait,
Planeswalkers.
isn't this? You only have 60 cards though, right?
Yep.
And you can play a Soul Ring.
You cannot.
No.
I know. But I do think
Command
it's a
Tower.
Yeah, I know. It's
Like,
in all my
and
standard
also
decks.
Signet
Every one of my
Ring or
standard
whatever,
decks
Arcane
has
Signet.
Arcane Signet.
Yeah.
But since Golos is a 5 color commander, they were basically like, there's no deck building restrictions for this. You can play any card. It's a little bit much.
Alright.
Sure.
Historic, which is what's historic? It's arena.
I love Historic.
It's arena legacy, basically.
I play Historic whenever I get bored with Standard. I play Historic because I get to play my old big Teferis.
Yeah.
Plus little Teferis, and
Yeah.
my deck
all the
basically
Teferis.
just poured it in from rotation. I was just like, great, I got my blue-white control deck.
I mean, there is something to be said, like, if you've spent a lot of time accumulating those cards online, not only
Not
are
having
they...
to be useless.
Right. They're
Yeah.
already fake. They already don't exist in the real world.
And from what I understand, they are planning to eventually bring all Pioneer sets to Arena.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're backfill them. So.
Oh. All right. Plus, they did all that animation already.
It's nice.
for it.
It's nice to have alternate formats. Even though I don't play Brawl, I still like that they have alternate formats on
once a week, one day a week,
whatever.
Unless you pay.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's like not even good prizes for it if you pay. It's just like
you get to keep
pat
playing
on
it.
the
Is all it is.
You get to win another crappy uncommon.
Cheryl is early in the game, and she's realizing that she's actually like looking at those like, oh, I get a card in the next level. That card's not bad.
It's so bad.
You get used to that.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I'm in a place where I get
every now and then you'll get something.
I have access to a PC for a couple of weeks, which is super exciting. So I'm dipping my toe into that arena world. But yeah, those cards you win are garbage.
Yeah, you gotta craft the good ones.
Yeah, no, it's all about the wild cards.
So historic, it uses a suspension list instead of a just straight up and down ban list, where things go on basically a probationary period, and then after them, I think they're a month or two, they will either be permanently banned or removed and they're legal again. Yep. Oko, Once Upon a Time, Veil of Summer, and Field of the Dead, which are all the standard banned cards, were on the suspension list.
Yep.
All of them except for Field of the Dead are now permanently banned.
Yep. And Field of the Dead is back in.
Field of the Dead is back in the format now.
You can play
For good behavior.
For good behavior, it got.
I mean, Oko was never going to get out for good behavior.
No,
that guy
he is a
sucks.
trickster. Oh,
fucking guy. Yeah, so Field of the Dead, but there is a cool thing about historic where they are occasionally adding batches of old cards, so they can unlike with a standard set where they have to drop one set at a time and they design this a year and a half, 2 years in advance. With historic, they're like, okay, if Field of the Dead is a problem, we can put in. What is it?
Ghost Quarter.
Ghost Quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
We can put in that goblin that deals with lands, and therefore it's safe to put Field of the Dead back in because there are better answers, and you can just throw it like that.
And there are two formats that are missing from this. One, Gabe called out for us during our prediction episode. Nothing from Theros has been banned.
In standard.
In standard. No standard bans.
Right.
Yep.
And
so far,
well, standard seems...
so far the new Elspeth has not proven to be format warping.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this though, because as much as I say I don't listen to this, I had to because I was on it. I wanted to see how much crap you guys were going to talk, and I was not disappointed.
Oh, you mean this?
The last episode that I was not on. Elspeth is a good card. You guys were like, "Oh, it's going to make 2/2s, then when are you going to +2/+1?" I'm like, "You're going to do the 1/1s because they're going to be hitting for 6 damage."
Yeah, but did you hear us comparing it to the other Elspeth?
Okay, well you don't compare.
But that was literally the segment, comparing it to the other Elspeth.
Okay, but we don't compare Nyx Lotus to Black Lotus.
No, because that wasn't the segment.
You know what I mean. It's an extreme example.
I mean, okay,
but
let
me
me
say it was
ask you
bad.
this.
I disagree that it's bad.
Okay, let's use a different metric for Elspeth. All right, how many Elspeths were there in the top 16 of any major tournament since?
Probably a couple in the sideboard of a.
At the very beginning, at the sideboard of blue white, and then people stopped playing them in the sideboard.
Or
of
how
blue
much does she cost?
$6.
Yeah,
that seems high.
probably.
It seems a lot.
I
mean,
think it's a solid card that doesn't have a role right now. It doesn't have a home.
I agree.
Alright.
I think that I can imagine a format in which she's good.
Yeah.
She's just not good right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. But no, nothing in standard. It
Nothing
seems
in
pretty.
Pioneer.
There's a lot of things you can do in standard right now.
Yeah.
Like you can play all sorts of types of decks. You can find one that fits for you, and there's nothing that's so outrageously overpowered that.
I feel like it's a really healthy format.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of bands lately, and that's not usual. They don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to a normal where that's not a lot of bands needed.
And the big surprise
nothing in
was
Pioneer.
no bans in Pioneer. So
Dig through all the time you want.
I will. Thank
Invert
you.
this.
Don't mind if I do.
I mean, really, I just play Inverter because it's the best dig through time deck.
Yeah.
You know, like, if they banned Inverter, I was prepared to move to a different dig through time deck as long as they didn't ban dig through time, which I was praying they didn't.
Done.
They probably should have. I'm not gonna lie. They
It's
probably
gonna
should
get
have
a
banned
ban
it.
soon. I don't. One way
But I
they're
was
waiting.
like, give me another year. You know, somebody was like, well, they should just ban it now because somebody's gonna find some broken thing to do with it within a year. And I was like, yeah, but I'll have a year to play dig through time.
Full year. Yeah, people were sure enough that, like, when I was buying Dig Through's times for the shop, was it you?
I'm pretty sure I said, "You
yeah,
sure you want to buy that?"
Brandon was like, I'd wait till Tuesday.
But you, as you pointed out, like, I'll just sell it before then. You probably did.
I did.
Yeah. Fair enough. But it's a really good card. I can't imagine it's going to stick around for too long. But, hey, invert it up while you can.
I mean, and the format is healthy. That they said that inverters really only have a 49% win rate.
Yeah.
The Underworld Breach deck is like
even lower.
And it's hard to play. And if people learn how to or figure out how to make it more resilient to Damping Sphere, then it can become more dominant, I think. But it's such a hard deck to pilot that it's kind of like what was that deck in Modern that finally got banned with the
Hogak?
No, the one that was like really difficult to play because it was all the artifacts that you bring them back. And
Kethis? No, that was
Kethis.
I don't know. It has the Mox Amber weird stuff.
Are you
the
talking
one
about
in
the
Modern.
Mox Opal was banned?
Mox Opal and
it was the Urza deck, right?
no, it was before that. The one that was like
Yeah, I'm out too.
okay. Well,
Welcome to Gabe's Modern Corner. Oh, back
hey,
when I was
remember
your
that
age.
one deck that had a bunch of artifacts that got banned in Modern, guys?
Yeah, it was Mirrodin. It was the entire
Affinity.
block of
I
Mirrodin.
remember Mirrodin,
Anyway.
yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Ah, shit.
Let's pretend like I know what I was talking about.
But I mean, and I
Clean
imagine
that up.
Damping Sphere does a job on Underworld Breach
Yeah,
decks,
it's-
and I imagine Graveyard. I haven't played against myself, but I imagine Graveyard Hate would as well too. If you can't, play
You can play through Graveyard Hate if you know how to pilot a deck, but again, you have to get in your reps. It's not the kind of deck that people can just like pick up and be like, oh, I'll take this. People who do that pick it up and be like, why do people think this deck is good? I keep losing with it, right? It's really hard to pilot.
It's a very skill-intensive deck.
it's like Charlotte picking up mono red. It's not. I don't know why I call that you specifically.
I don't either.
It's one of you two. No, so that's.
I'm sitting closer to you, so you just
So-
get most of the fire.
On the topic of Pioneer, we might as well mention to bear with us for this in the next episode and a little bit forward. We are changing some stuff up. Loyal fans will know that we're under construction, so
I
pardon
mean,
our
loyal
dust.
fan.
Loyal fan. I don't know his. I keep forgetting his name. He's our only fan. No. Stick with us. We're trying some new stuff. We're excited to try some new ideas out for this podcast, some new ways of producing some content and sharing new ideas with you. And one of those things is we're not going to be purely standard focused. We will still have a large standard focus, but we'll talk about these other formats as well because we are not only standard players. Some of us are mainly not standard players, Charlotte. And we're passionate about the game and everything about it, and we want the podcast to reflect that.
Yeah.
So,
and if you like that, write us. Or
Yeah,
if
let
you
us know.
hate it, let us know.
Yeah, if you're like...
Nicely. Tell us nicely.
Yeah, we're very sensitive.
Super sensitive.
Snowflakes.
Yeah.
So, since we don't talk that much about standard anymore, it's going to be everything. Let's talk about the standard meta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately go back on our word. No, I think it's really interesting after so many bans in the future that it's kind of finally settled into a format with more than like 2 decks.
Yeah.
Where you
I
can
think
actually, if you like, if you have a deck you really enjoy,
Deck
you can
style,
actually,
yeah.
you can actually play it. Because I know a lot of people were complaining that, they loved white blue and it was just not playable for so long, or they really loved red. Brandon.
Yeah, red had
was
almost
not
a year that was
playable.
not playable.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's playable now.
Yeah, people were trying to cavalcade
Got
things.
your
With
wish.
a vengeance.
Ugh.
Oh,
Most
I love
annoying
me
part
now.
about mono red is how easy it is to craft it on Arena, so that like you're just always gonna play mono red. If
Then
you're
play a
playing
deck
on
that
Arena.
farms
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's generally what I do.
You're like, yeah.
it. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's go through a few of the decks, mono red being one of them. It feels very, very strong right now.
Yeah.
Ember Cleave is a very powerful card, and it took maybe Annex being attached to it for us to realize how powerful it was, because it's usually just like you're probably dealing close to 20 damage
Yeah.
just with Annex when it's on the board.
Plus,
they're
you
both on
got
the board.
Torbrand as like a
Torbrand's
backup way
great.
to kill people.
Yeah, it's kind of like if they let Embercleave or Torbrand resolve,
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't dealt with everything else of yours, you're probably going to win that.
Right. Or
it's-
the other thing that's really scary is having an Annex, and then you board wipe them, and they're left with like 4 or 5 tokens, and then you drop a Torbrand and kill
Yeah.
them.
Or even
like
an Evercleave,
That
or-
play pattern is very common.
Yeah, or even if you don't have one of those cards, having the castles and
Right.
a bunch of those tokens that you're probably swinging for 8 or 10 in the next turn after a board wipe.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
That resilience is really what that deck needed because the burn is feeling pretty weak right now. Not having a lightning strike hurts that deck a lot. I'm definitely feeling like that deck is more linear.
It's 3 damage.
It's 3 damage for 2 mana, and we don't have that.
Nope.
Yeah.
You have 4 damage for 3 mana with Slaying Fire. You have
Bring back
2 damage
lightning
for...
strikes, you coward.
We really need it. Like the deck.
No.
That was
Lightning
always.
Please, no.
That was always a general
Just
like
the
kind of
bolt back.
ability for red decks to maneuver throughout
Right.
board states. It can
Yeah.
deal with it can finish off Planeswalker, it can finish off a
Right.
player, it can deal with a
A
problematic
creature,
creature.
too, because 2 damage to a creature is...
Especially when you're a creature base, you need to have the board clear.
Yeah. And that's why Embercleave is so important to this deck because it provides that reach in the form of trample.
Right.
So you
Right.
get that
Get through
like
that
three or four extra damage over, right? Yeah, exactly.
The castles help a lot, and Mono Red's real good right now.
Mono Red's been pretty stable. It's been good like throughout. It hasn't been maybe like the best deck,
Right.
In
But
the
it did
format.
not disappear.
It hasn't disappeared at all.
Since it
whereas,
showed up
like,
again, yeah.
Right. Whereas some of the other decks have kind of like rotated in and out. So you had Worlds where like blue-white emerged as kind of the best deck in the format, sort of de facto best deck. And then this Teamer Clover deck in DreamHack just really
Just made to destroy blue white.
that blue-white. So blue-white really lost some stock in that, and Teamer Clover went up. And then you saw this like flowering of innovation around how to beat Teamer Clover, right? So you have like the blue-white Blink deck, the Bamp mid-range or mid-ramp deck that Croaky's kind of popularized.
John Food made a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I even saw...
I love that deck. It's super complicated, but it is so fun to play.
Yeah, and Sultai a little bit too. There's been like a Sultai deck. It's a Manguchi playing this
Andrea
Sultai deck
Mangucci.
he really likes, and it seems really good against that Teamer Clover deck. So, and then there's Jeskai Fires, which that one has not come back in since it kind of had a resurgence around Worlds, and then it's I haven't seen it as much on the ladder, but maybe.
I've seen it a little bit, but if you look at some tournament reports, like it's still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
People are still playing it in heavy
Okay.
doses. I think it's just the fail state of like if they can't deal with your Fire's Invention, you have a very powerful play.
That's true.
It's a heavy, like the difference between having Fires out and not is like kind of like having a Wilderness Reclamation out or not.
Yeah.
For the team or rec decks, like it either works beautifully or it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And that deck seems really good against Mono Red. So as long as Mono Red is like 20% of the metagame, seems like it's gonna stick around.
Right,
Which one?
It's gonna get
Teamer
some
or-
numbers.
Jeskai Fires.
Jeskai.
Interesting.
You don't think so?
No, I found that to be a okay
Really?
matchup.
Oh, okay.
I think, deafening Clarion is a problem.
Yeah, I mean that was the main reason why I thought that deck was pretty. And then just the giant creatures that kind of stop your creatures and
It can be
Deafening
tricky if
Clarion,
they establish,
gaining-
but it can
gaining
be
life.
so fast.
gaining life. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a buy or anything, but
No.
I thought that it was favored against red, but I could be wrong.
No, I think
Red
it is.
has
I think it is
evolved
favored.
some, so
But
yeah.
if they do get the one creature down, if you have an Embercleave ready, you usually just smack right through it.
Then we got Rakdos Sacrifice.
Which is a
Yeah.
fun, aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Playing some powerful cards in there.
And it's been tuned too, you know, like you've seen that one evolve a little bit. Obviously the sack outlet guy,
Priest of
Woe
Forgotten Gods.
Strider.
Oh, Woe Strider's
Woe
great.
Strider is really good in that deck. So it
Woe
doesn't,
Stride the Whip.
yeah, and it doesn't rely so much on the like
Is that a
cat,
thing?
the
what I
cat,
said.
Oh.
the cat combo.
I've
anymore.
not
It
even
has
really
that.
seen the cat combo in some of them.
Yeah, some of them have cut it completely, but even the ones that do have it don't really rely on it in the way that the sacrifice decks used to.
Yeah.
So,
It's just Woe Strider is very strong, and they're running 3 or even 4 copies of Claim the Firstborn in the main, because with those sacrifice outlets out there,
and
whether
that's Rampage due to,
being able to take a Euro for a turn, being able to just take your mono red players Steamkin or something
Well-
and hit them with it and then sacrifice
Yeah.
it for your own
Plus,
game.
it's such
exactly.
a creature-heavy format right now.
it is.
It has become, yeah.
Like, it
And
definitely...
cheap, efficient creatures too. So even like the Lovestruck Beast, you can grab. You can grab Gadwick. You can grab. There's like so many good 3 mana, 2 and 3
Not to
mana
mention the
creatures that you can
giants,
grab. Yeah.
which are technically 2 or 3 mana.
Yeah.
If they stay
Oh.
around, you can grab them, hit your opponent with them, and then sacrifice them to one of your things for 1 mana.
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
huge.
good.
1 mana removal plus
Right.
getting to use them. That is the main draw to that deck is having Claim the Firstborn and a good way to utilize it.
Totally.
Yeah, one of my first decks that I like when I realized, you can actually like construct a deck in Magic was to play nothing but like Acts of Treason and stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna steal my opponent's stuff. This is gonna be great.
Steal and sack.
It's not great when it's not.
She wasn't even doing the sacking.
There was no sacking. I was just stealing them, and I was like, okay, thanks for letting me borrow that. You can have that back. Yeah. Oh, I'm dead now. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, but I got you.
It's a fun trump. I've actually considered I have Claimed the Firstborn in the sideboard of the red deck for. It's kind of tricky because I want to use it in the Euro matchup because Euro can be the nail in the coffin for red.
Just use it against red and steal their Torbrand and then sack their Torbrand.
It's great in the mirror.
Legendary rule.
Seems like it would
You can't get Torbrand.
Damn.
Oh, because it's
4.
You can get Annex, though.
You can
I thought
get
I was being
Annex.
so clever. I was like, this is going to be great,
You can get literally everything else on the red board.
Okay, all right. There.
Everything else.
It's still really... But also, that gives you another really great card, being in Rakdos or in mono red, is Red Cap Melee, which is the 1 mana, 4 damage to a red thing. Preferably a red thing. You don't want to lose a land, but really great.
So that's standard.
That is standard. In a nutshell.
Healthy.
Delicious.
I like it.
Good snack.
Salty.
Yeah. Hot on the heels of Unsanctioned, there's been a new unset announced after this one's amazing success. Hasbro's stock price has quadrupled overnight as investors clamor for more joke sets, more puns, and more products to foist on the public. Mountain Pass has gotten the exclusive first preview for this joke expansion called Unbelievable, which will be released June 31st. They've given us 1 card of each color to show off, so let's dive in, shall we? Oh.
Yes, let's!
This is exciting.
Thanks, black and white guy.
Yeah, it's weird that we could hear him in black and white.
It is kind of weird.
That's strange.
And he's also like 2-dimensional, which I find very off-putting.
It was weird to see him turn sideways and
Kind of
leave
a flat
through the
character.
door without opening it.
So let's we do have some previews though.
We do, which is super
We do have
cool.
for Unbelievable, which this is just like Wizards, right? We just got finished playing the new Unsanctioned, and they give us previews for Unbelievable,
Which I just can't believe.
I mean, have you seen the lands in Unbelievable? I literally cannot believe them.
Yeah.
They're pretty incredible.
Do not look like lands.
Well, because they are little like deeds to small pockets of land that you now own. It's like Cards Against Humanity did that, where you own like a little tiny
or like
1 square
Monopoly,
foot.
where you get the deed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except this is real.
Monopoly
There's
style.
like a little like patch of a tiny little rock in the Pacific Ocean, but you own a chunk of now.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like
those are the islands.
It's a little bit like if you buy a star and name it after someone.
Kind of.
Yes, it's a lot like that.
Yeah, which is definitely believable as well.
Yeah, totally. I believe it.
So, as the resident Burn player here, Charla,
yes.
would you like to? This one's got a cool new keyword.
I feel so called out. So this one's cool. This one is called Lava Bolt. So it costs 1 red. It is a sorcery, and it deals 3 damage to any target. New keyword, burn. You can cast a burn spell, and you must insult your opponent as part of the cost. Loud enough for others to hear. And if you don't, then the spell is countered.
That's going to be a pretty fun environment for...
Like sitting there with people yelling across the room?
Yeah. Don't be cool, guys. Don't make it too personal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not enough.
Keep it nice,
Within
light
reason.
and fun.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to see the other
Creative.
burns.
Let's see the other burn cards that come out of the set. But
Right.
this one has some more text to it.
It does. And if the permanent dealt damage this way would be destroyed this turn, exile it instead. And if the player is dealt damage this way, they must immediately stand up and jump up and down saying, hot, 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 trying to put out an imaginary fire on their rear end if they don't. Lava Bolt does an additional 1 damage to them. So you just do little
4 damage for 1
ass.
mana.
Right.
If there's no ass slap.
I was
there is no-
impressed
Very
with your
uncomfortable.
jumping up on the table there.
I had
for
to commit
that
to this.
rear end slapping.
Well,
Yeah.
I like that you were like,
wish we didn't have to
please,
see it, but
let's make this Well, it was too late. I was between the two of you. You both, unfortunately, got the full view.
yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
But no, this is gonna be it's gonna be fun to just sling some lightning bolts at people. But
It's gonna be great.
The lava
Mm-hmm. And
exiling the thing is relevant.
I feel like this was made for my husband. I think I told both of you guys this already. But, dear listeners, you've not heard this. My husband used to play Burn in Modern, and he would carry around ointment cream with him because he's that much of a jack.
And then he would drive off on a
burn
motorcycle.
Yeah, and then he would drive up.
On his
To
leather
get to
jacket.
Burn out
To
on
get
the
to
like
his-
do donuts in front of you. You're like sit there asking yourself
my
what
man."
happened.
Yeah.
Oh, what a creep!
So I've been
Oh.
Just kidding.
no, but you know who is a creep?
Power creep.
Yeah, that's one of the new
Yeah.
unbelievable cards. Gabe, why don't you read it?
I like
What
that
are
he
you
picked
saying?
you. I noticed
What
that.
are you saying?
I'm not saying you're wearing a fedora-like thing right now.
Everybody hates on my
No.
fedora. All right, so power creep is 1 and a G, so 2 mana for a creature. It's a rogue, and it's a 6/6 with haste,
So big.
trample, reach, vigilance, death touch, and also power creep can't be blocked by creatures who experience time in a normal manner or nobles.
Right.
That's cute.
So as an additional cost to cast power creep, because I mean that is a lot of
That's
text
a lot
on
for
there.
13 mana.
So it's an additional cost to cast power creep. Sacrifice all fun available in the game.
Yeah. This almost feels like it was just copy and pasted from Questing Beast. Almost.
Almost.
Very close.
But it actually has more abilities.
Yeah, when power creep attacks, you may punch the opponent in the kidney. Just give him a little, you know.
clock. Yeah.
Equip abilities you activate. The target power creep costs 3 less to activate as long as he's equipping a fedora.
I'm excited to see the fedora equipment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And-
I heard it was going to be tokens. Like, there's like a fedora equipment tokens that you can.
Oh, like
equip.
it looks like a...
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of things like create a fedora token, and then you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there will be foil ones, which are going to be a chase card.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Foil fedoras.
Foil fedoras.
Nothing
I'm
but
in
the
hell.
finest.
But no, that makes sense. You know, Questing Beasts is just the latest symptom of green being
Yeah.
so powerful, and like and just to have all of the keywords that green has had lately on one card. It's good to see it all in one place.
Makes sense.
But it will be a Chase Mythic, as will the card Chase Mythic, which is
Ooh,
one of
I
the
see
other
what you did
unbelievable
there.
cards.
That was
I see.
almost
Very
clever.
smooth.
Yeah.
Very
Almost clever.
smooth.
If Charlotte didn't just set it up for me. Chase Mythic is a sorcery for 2 and a black, so 3 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to play this spell, pay $25.
Yeah, seems fair.
The spell's effect is smell the top card of your library and never play this card in any other format.
Smell. So this is really interesting because smell the top card of your library leads me to think that there's some really interesting mechanics coming down the line.
Yeah,
You're
they've been-
thinking what I'm thinking, aren't you?
Oh, I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Little scratch,
Scratch
and
and
sniff.
sniff.
Scratch and sniff.
Okay.
Old Spice. I mean, there probably will be an Old Spice
There'll be a
cards.
product
Scratch
tie
and
in
Right,
at some
right.
point.
But yeah, 100%. You could have like cards be like, you can play this on the battlefield if you can guess what this card is by the smell.
And smell the top card of your library is like scry
Yeah.
It's
for scratch and sniff cards.
I mean, if you're a pervert, it's better than Scry.
but this goes really well with power creep.
It does.
does.
Yeah, it sure does. Actually, a lot of these have a nice driving.
Yeah. So the question is, do I pre-order this or not? Like, how many chances of getting this mythic in a box will
It's
it be?
like-
It's like 1 out of every 3 boxes, I think.
I think it's like 1 out of every 16 boxes.
Wow. So it's
Yeah.
it's less than 1 a case.
Super
Correct.
mythic.
I mean,
It's like ultra mythic.
if I can pre-order this under $25, I'm gaining money at that point.
I smell what you're stepping in.
Charlotte, do you want to read the next one? It's your turn to read
Okay,
one.
so Teferi the Turn Taker. So this is
Blue, Planeswalker. Teferi, starting loyalty 5.
Feels right.
You just had
Yeah,
your turn
that
taken.
Sure did.
Planeswalker,
under me.
blue, Planeswalker, Teferi, starting loyalty 5. +1, target player takes an extra turn after this one, draw a card. -3, target player skips their next turn, draw a card.
Which happened to you.
Yep. It's like we're
-7,
playing Uno right now.
become target opponent for the next 48 hours. And there's some reminder text with this one in case you don't know that ability.
Okay.
That says, you sign into their social media profiles, answer their phone, chat with their coworkers for them. That player names you as a benefactor in their will and Venmos you money to get a burrito for every lunch during this time period, in addition to their meals, which you also eat. When someone calls your opponent by name during this 48-hour period and they respond before you can, they must sign the title for their car over to you. And then finally, draw a card.
Wow. All I'm saying is wow.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, this is the card you want to play like right before lunch. Because that'll maximize the amount of lunches you get.
Totally.
Right.
Because you get the first one,
48
next
hours.
one. Right.
Yeah, and
I guess there'll be 2 lunches no matter what.
And then there's 11
But you could have a
choice.
third lunch because you could make them have an early lunch if you get it close.
That's
on day.
true.
Yeah.
You do control them.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you control them.
And be like, you know what? I'm feeling.
Or you're like, oh wait,
A bit
it's
peckish, sir.
1:30 and you haven't eaten lunch yet. Let's play a game of Magic.
That's right.
Feeling
This could be
good.
fun.
This could be fun. Yeah.
Little sneak peek for Core 2021 to fairy theme.
Yeah, and I like this. Ultimate seems like it's not.
It's not game winning.
It's not game winning because you don't want it to just read you win the game.
Yeah.
But you want it to be powerful enough that you probably will win the game
Eventually.
Eventually.
in like 48
Which
hours.
is kind of Teferi style.
Yeah.
He'll eventually get
Yeah,
there.
you win it eventually.
Yeah.
Time
That
is not
sounds
really
right.
a thing for him.
So we have one more.
We have one more. It's a white enchantment. Two and 2 white. It's called Lost to the Shadow Realm. When Lost to the Shadow Realm enters the battlefield, you and target opponent remove all creature cards with flying from your deck. Then take them onto the roof of your local LGS. Play a sub-game up there with Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules, which are, for those of you not familiar, no mana costs, 8,000 starting life, creatures must be played in attack or defense mode, and permanents that are destroyed must be flung off the roof, preferably into a nearby river. The winner of this Yu-Gi-Oh! Sub-game gives their creatures double strike and swamp walk for the rest of the Magic game. The loser is placed in a dark otherworld dimension until their friend can defeat the winner. When this happens, exile Lost to the Shadow Realm.
I'm going to start off by saying that I literally just Googled how much life you start off with in Yu-Gi-Oh! It really is 8,000 life!
Yeah, granted
That's
the
not
creatures
bullshit.
are bigger than like 3 or 4. They're like
What is
they're like
happening?
3,000 each.
Really
But
long
there
time. You
is-
just have flying creatures, which are notoriously low powered.
Low power.
But there is another addendum to this.
Okay.
If the sub game takes place on an airship,
Sure.
each player puts an extra card in the ante.
Which means anti.
Ante's
Ante.
back.
Ante's
That's really what I'm
back.
taking from this. Is it's a signal that Ante's coming back, and in a real way.
Wow.
This might be beyond just unsets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Jeez.
Ante up.
Jeez. This set is going to be a lot of fun to play. I cannot wait. So thank you, Wizards, for giving us those exclusive previews to Unbelievable, which releases
June 31st.
June 31st.
You can pre-order those with me now for $69.99.
Nice.
Cash only, no
Right.
refunds.
Yep.
Why would you need refunds?
I mean,
This
who would
set
want
is going
one?
to be awesome, and the lands look like deeds to actual lands.
Yeah.
As far as I understand,
They
the
actually
rumors they
are.
are. It's not
Oh.
very much. But it's
Right.
like a few
Wow.
square inches.
But you're
or
going to
something.
own small pieces
It's good to
of
own lands.
Wizards'
Hey.
lawn.
Always invest in real estate. That's what I say.
That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's what I say.
No, I say
No,
that.
I definitely say that.
I'm a... Mm-mm.
I've never said it, so.
Oh.
Morning, sir. Welcome to the Azorius Pie Emporium, where all treats comes with Teferi's personal guarantee.
Good morning. I was sitting in the Harmony Basilica just now, skimming through the tome of the Guild Pack, and I suddenly found myself all peckish.
Hey, peckish, sir.
Azorians.
Hey.
I'm all hungry like.
Ah, you so hungry.
Yes, in a nutshell. And I thought to myself, a little blackbird baked into a pie will do the trick, so I sallied forth and infiltrated your place of fine pastries to negotiate the acquiring of some sweet oblivions and some breadcrumbs.
Come again.
I want to buy some pies.
Oh, for an instant, I thought you was complaining about having to wait your turn for pie.
Oh, heaven forbid. I am one who delights in all manifestations of bureaucratic formalities. Now then, some pie, my good man, and if it is indeed my turn.
Certainly, sir. What would you like?
Well, how about a little gingerbread pie?
Oh, I'm afraid we're fresh out of the gingerbread pie.
Ah, never mind. I'd like a brazen blueberry pie.
I'm afraid there's been a string of petty thefts lately. Quite unlucky, we're out.
Tish tish. No matter. Well, a nice elk mince pie will do.
Sorry, sir, it's banned.
A curious pear
No.
pie? Anything from the Elysian Grove?
Nay,
I'd settle for some Torburn muffins at this point.
don't have any of those, sir.
Rhubarb pie.
No.
Fine. I've practically lost my appetite anyway. How about a drink? Something to quench this thirst I've accumulated arguing with you.
Oh, well, we have got a nice elder fayberry lemonade, but it does cost more on account of the shortage.
No matter. Fetch forth the lemonade.
I think it will cost more than what you will be able to pay, sir.
I don't care how much it fucking costs. Hand it over with haste.
Ooh.
What now?
Well, that gent behind you has just ordered the last one.
What? They haven't bloody ordered anything yet.
Weird, I know. It's all topsy-turvy in here.
Okay. Fine. I will just take that very pie right there. The one in front of us, in the display case. I know you have it in stock. I know it is extant and observable phenomena in the world as both you and I are seeing it concurrently. I'll have that.
No.
Why not?
You didn't say please, sir.
Nope, this has become entirely too silly.
Okay, last episode we
did a
promised
little
you
teaser.
a little teaser. Promised you that we were going to be giving you
I didn't
some.
tease anyone.
No, you did not.
Put that on me.
You did, though. You know how you teased everyone by not being here. They all thought you were off.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So we're going to be starting a new segment, and Brandon, you can even join in with this one. This
If you
is
want.
Oh, thank you.
Up
I
the
guess.
down.
This is your official invite.
Yeah, the other one must have gotten lost in the mail. I swear
Where do I
we
check?
sent it. I
We
swear.
sure
Where do I check
did.
yes or no?
Oh, maybe.
What's the damn
It's in
segment?
the same place where you put in the cash.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
So this is Up the Down Escalator.
Mm-hmm.
This is our infallible advice for Magic the Gathering aspiring spikes.
Correct.
Can I say aspiring spike? Is that like a copyrighted?
Is that-
Okay.
I don't think so.
No.
Another podcast.
I've never heard
Anyway,
those
okay.
two words.
I mean,
before.
if our 6 listeners turn us in.
Wait, is that a podcast?
It's a podcast, yeah.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm such
Anyway,
a spike. I
aspiring-
don't need that.
Aspiring Spike, if you're out there, we're just a little insider call out to you guys. You
That's
know,
right.
it's,
We're sending some listeners your way.
That's right. So Up the Down Escalator is our take on just general advice for playing
Right.
Magic. How
Making
to play
sure-
Magic better.
Yeah,
Irrefutable advice. I'd say.
Irrefutable. Yeah.
correct.
Undeniable.
Never stray.
Unbelievable.
Just do it.
Right. And to start off, don't
loving
make
it.
any plans.
Yes. Don't make any plans. This is the best advice you can get. Because, look,
Mm-hmm.
the battlefield is always changing. You never know what you're going to draw. So it's best to just keep your mind an absolute blank when it's not your turn.
Right.
Okay? Stare off into space.
Just find some zen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
If you
can...
can, forget what color you are playing, even
Forget
better.
who your opponent is.
Yeah. 100%.
See them fresh every time because their board will have changed next
Right.
turn too.
Yeah.
But then...
Don't live in
when
the
it's-
past, man.
That's right, man. Don't live in the past, man. And then once your turn, you draw a card, and then you just do the first thing that comes to your mind. Mm-hmm. Right? Just drew a kill spell, kill whatever creature's on board.
Right.
Right.
Don't think about, will there be a scarier creature later? Just kill what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And if you only have creatures in front of you that are your own, that's really going to throw your opponent for a loop.
Just kill it.
They're
right then
not
and
going to
there.
understand. They're
Yeah.
going to be like, you're playing some kind of crazy combo deck. It's just
Yeah.
like, they can't predict what you're going to do if you don't
That's
even
a
know
huge
what you're gonna do.
advantage.
Yeah.
Huge advantage,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mind blank, they can't read your mind.
That's what I was going to say. It's really
Ah,
important.
Because I
Joke's
read
on
your,
you.
I read your
Oh,
mind.
shit.
Joke's on you, buddy. I'm not thinking of anything.
Forgot to wear my tinfoil hat.
But yeah, you can cross that. If they got something else, you'll cross that bridge when you come to it.
Yeah.
You get answers, you get 60 answers in your deck.
Yeah, if you got an unconditional removal spell, just use it on whatever creature. You know, don't worry about if they've got an unbeatable planeswalker or enchantment in their deck. Just use that banishing light to kill that little 2/2 they've got.
Yeah, 100%. Even if it's something that's like an enter the battlefield effect, it's already done its thing, it's really no threat at all, kill it. Get rid of it
'Cause
immediately.
2 damage is that's a 10-turn clock.
That is.
Yeah.
And it is ticking.
That's right. So that's our advice for Up the Down Escalator. Don't make any plans. Just play with a blank mind and do whatever is the first thing that comes to your head.
I like to call it willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Yeah.
I could go
Or
for
Willie
some
Nelson.
Willie Nelson right now. Yeah, I could listen a little.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
wait.
reminds me of a joke, but I'm not going to tell it.
Oh, please do.
No.
This is great audio. I
Look.
thought of something funny.
We can cut it
I'm
out,
not
but
gonna
I still
share
want
it.
to hear it.
We actually have one more unbelievable tutor here. lost under the shuffle of pages here. Oh my gosh, the pile.
That seems unbelievable.
The legal documents. We've
cannot
been
believe
sued so many times.
That you lost that card.
Okay, it's called Drunk Tutor. It is a 1 mana instant. It's a blue-red hybrid mana, so you can cast with blue or red, which is fitting. It's a tutor, so you search your library for any card and place it on the top, and then shuffle your library. That's powerful.
You know what, Charlotte? I think this card was made for you. I think this card just has your name all over it.
Look, when I get drunk, I become a better Magic player.
Actually, did you read the flavor text on it?
No.
It says, "This one's for you, Charlotte."
Oh, I didn't see that because I don't read the fucking card.
Yeah, really specific.
Really specific.
It's kind of a call shot on their part,
Yeah.
but it landed. So let's do some deck tech.
All right.
It's out of left field. Can we get like the sound effect of like a home run being hit, like the crack of a bat?
I don't know.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I don't know what a crack of a bat sounds
Yes,
like.
you did.
I like that you were rising to that bait, and then you were like, wait, this. Oh.
So,
Da-da-da-da-da.
Gabe built a deck. I built the deck.
I did not build a deck.
It's not about you, Charlotte.
Oh.
Well, it is because Charlotte played my deck
I
against
did.
Brandon's
That's
deck.
true.
Yeah. How did it go, Brandon?
It did not go well.
I thought it was great.
Unbeknownst to me, I built a deck specifically with the one Achilles heel that was Gadwick the Wizard.
Yeah.
But
so good.
it feels like a really good deck otherwise. But let's talk about the two decks. I already spoiled one, Gadwick.
Yep.
So, Gabe, tell us about the deck that you've been working on.
It's a mono blue flash. It's kind of like the blue green flash deck, except I cut the green. So no wolf.
That's cool.
Whatever it's called, the 4 mana flash wolf.
Yep.
Um,
That back ambusher.
Yeah, none of that 4 mana counterspelled 3/2 creature. None of that nonsense. It's just super low to the ground. 1 and 2 drops mostly. A lot of instants. Plays Quench. You know, the little 1 mana pirate flash guy. Couple of Terramanders.
Spectral Sailor.
Yeah, Spectral Sailor. Thank you. I can't remember card names. You guys gotta help me.
Well, I remember because I'm like having nightmares of just Spectral Sailors flashing in and tapping my creatures down with Gadwick.
Oh,
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah, Gadwick is kind of the top end of it. So I have 4 Gadwicks, and you essentially just get in some damage early, counter any spells that are relevant to what you're doing. So one of the things you really got to counter is Teferi. You
Board
really
wipe,
cannot
probably.
let a Teferi. Board wipes are not as bad.
Is he legendary?
Gadwick.
Mhm.
Is Gadwick
He
legendary?
is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So board wipes are not as bad as you'd think because of Gadwick. You can reload if the
That's
game's
good.
going on that long. But you also have counter spells, so if you know you're just going to kill him on the next turn, you counter the board wipe and then kill him. I've played some insane board states where I should have been dead, but because of Gadwick, I just get to tap all of their things down on the end of turn and then untap and kill them. And because my what's the little 2/1 that grows whenever you play
Brineborn Cutthroat.
Yeah, thank you.
This is
Brineborn
good card.
Cutthroat gets real big when you're tapping things down. That thing gets big, and then it like deals that last damage. I had several opponents last Friday night that just didn't understand how adding and math worked. You know, they just didn't do the math right. They just thought
Right.
I was dead, but then I was like, no, actually, you're dead.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
And one of those opponents was Brandon.
I mean,
That's
I
right.
don't have to bring my math skills into it.
Okay, so here's the question. Did you build it because you feel like it's stronger than the
Well,
Simic one, or more budget? Or both?
I thought it was stronger for this particular metagame that we were going into. So it's really good against slower, like, control and mid-range decks. It's really not great against mono red. And also, I struggled to beat Bant. So it has some Achilles heels, right? Like, it's not great against Bant. It's better against the straight blue-green ramp. It's pretty good against blue-white control. The blue-white blink deck is harder. It's great against Teamer. Wreck is just like, I crushed one of the strongest players in our shop, Jacob Wishon.
Not Brandon.
No. But Jacob was playing Teamer Reclamation, and
I don't give a shit.
Got to beat him.
It's actually rude. Brandon is probably one of my strongest players, so...
So it's a great deck, and it also is fairly budget. Like,
Yeah.
it's playing all islands.
A lot of uncommons.
Yeah,
Not a lot of rares.
I think it has 8 rares.
4 of them are Gadwick, which are like $1.
Right.
Yep, 4 Gadwick, and the other 4... No, it's only 2 Thassa's Oracles, or 2 Thassa's Intervention.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Which is not expensive either.
No.
That might be it.
That's a real cheap deck.
Yeah, super cheap.
It's probably under 50.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I had
it
a
was
lot
awesome.
of fun playing it.
Yeah, it was great. It's a blast to play.
Yeah, it seems really good right now because there's a lot of standard decks that are kind of greedy in the fact that like they're just trying to do some really crazy things. Like the Simic Ramp is trying to ramp to some ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mono Red's trying to just get one ridiculous combat phase, and
Right.
no one's playing a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
And you're playing a lot of interaction that goes perfectly with your game plan.
Right.
So
And cheap interaction, Mystical Dispute, Quench,
Mm-hmm.
the bounce spell, Unsummon, where I can bounce their creature, bounce one creature, tap another creature,
Yep.
make my Brineborn Cutthroat bigger,
And you always seem to have like a full grip of cards too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of card draw. There's a lot of incidental
Oh, that's
interaction
the
and
other
stuff too.
the other 4 rares is the Hippo Camp. The Hippo
Oh,
horse
the
fish.
fish. Yeah,
The horsefish.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
horsefish. Yeah.
The name is
The big debate
escaped me.
between horsefish and
Something hippocamp.
seahorse.
Yeah.
Right.
Mythic Hippo. No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a 2/2,
Look it up.
3 mana, and
cool,
whenever
it's a
you
fish,
cast
it's a
a
horse.
spell on your opponent's turn, the first spell on your opponent's turn, you draw a card.
Yeah.
Right.
It's filling up your
so
hand
between that
with
and
lots of
Gadwick.
little cheap spells.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap flash creatures.
4 ops to help you.
Oh, that's always good, especially
yeah.
when they're tapping down
And also
a creature.
anticipate. So I started playing Omen of the Sea, but I actually cut it for anticipate because you get to look at 3 cards and it's an instant, so it helps your Terramanders out a little bit.
Okay.
So anticipate was actually really good for me the whole night. It was awesome. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
And Brandon, you've got a deck.
Yeah, I've been messing around with a Simic deck, but not like the Simic decks out there right now, which are really ramp heavy. This one is a little more artifact focused. Its centerpiece is Emry, filling your graveyard and casting cards out of it. Of course, if you're throwing things in your graveyard, Uro is great anyway. Put Uro in there, pull him out, you put fuel for him. But the goal of this deck is to get the Great Henge out, turn 4 or 5. It uses Vantress Gargoyle and Lovestruck Beast to get 5 power on the board, and then turn 4 you can have a Henge. And because it's using the Lovestruck Beast and Brazen Borrowers, which are great interaction and a strong card, it's got and Merfolk Seeker Keepers as well to mill yourself, mill your opponent so that the Vantress Gargoyle can attack.
Nice.
There's enough adventure creatures that it's worthwhile putting out an Edgewall Innkeeper.
Yeah.
Which also works very well with Henge. It's not bad to draw 1/1 later in the game if it's just going to get you another card.
Right.
There are points when this kind of goes off and you are just filling up your board. You're playing 6 or 7 creatures a turn because you played an Edgewall Innkeeper and then you have a Henge out and you played an adventure creature and all of a sudden you're drawing 2 cards. And there's another creature in there and you're just going crazy and you're just tapping out every turn and then you just have a giant board you can just cram down your opponent's throat.
Yeah.
Nice. And this actually did do really well for you on Friday, except for,
Yeah, that blue one was the only one. It was just hard because, like, you have Uro and maybe a Beast or a Vantress Gargoyle. If Gabe had run out of spells, I wouldn't look at them in, but all I needed was a spell or 2 every turn and can just keep tapping them. And this really doesn't do a lot. It is very heavily on...
creature
creature
attack.
based.
Yeah.
Stonecoil Serpent is a great card.
Yeah.
And it's seeing a lot of use right now. It's not seeing a lot of play, but it's very useful in blocking Krasis and blocking Euros,
Well, also,
in pushing in through damage.
Yeah, that
the
reach is
Gargoyle
important.
and the Stonecoil Serpent are conveniently artifacts, so your Emry gets to buy them back from
Exactly.
the graveyard, which that's one of the sweetest things I saw you do is buy back for 2 mana that 5/4 that can attack and block because you've been filling up your graveyard and your opponents and you're drawing a ton of cards
hands.
with the Great Henge. So
Yeah,
it was sweet.
This actually
really
has
sweet.
a surprising amount. It doesn't look like it, but it has a surprising amount of game against mono red because you have that huge blocker early.
Oh, that's
and
true.
they're not going to waste a burn spell on Emry because you
Right.
have giant things, and then you can just keep replaying the Gargoyle after it trades with an Anax or something.
Yeah.
Or just put a giant 6/6, 7/7 Serpent out there, and all of a sudden you're just sitting pretty.
Yep.
It's a whole ton of fun. Yeah, this deck didn't have.
It looked awesome.
And we'll put both of these deck lists up. We'll tweet them out. We'll put them in the show notes on Scryfall, so you can check it out. This one is not quite as budget, but it's not particularly. It's not particularly expensive.
Well, you played 4
Fable
Euros,
Passage.
right?
Don't worry about
just
it.
2
Oh,
Euros.
just 2 Euros. Okay.
2 Euros. fatal passages, great hinges,
You know.
and a full play set of Brazen Borrowers.
But besides
only
sanitation,
like 350
education,
bucks.
and
Those are expensive, but most of the other ones are not too bad. But if you don't need a particular budget,
Yeah.
you can get more expensive than
yeah.
this.
No, it actually looks like a lot of fun, and it looks like it's fairly resilient, which
Yeah.
is really
It
nice.
is. I've been playing it on the ladder a little bit with good results actually in some of the higher ranks.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Tell you, got crushed with Teamer.
yes,
Well.
I did get crushed by the number one mythic player
Yeah.
in the world at the time who stomped me for 20 in one turn with 4 clovers and two Bone Crusher Giants.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a reason he's number one.
Pretty epic.
Because he can draw.
Because he
like
can
that.
draw cards.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It's a good deck, and I'm gonna keep tooling around with it a little bit more.
Nice. That's very cool.
Dig it.
I think we have a question.
Ooh, this is a good one.
A mailbag, so to speak.
A question in the mailbag.
And by mailbag,
Let's
you
just
mean
reach in
email.
and grab one at random.
Oh,
Here's the mail it never. Okay. Blue's Clues, anyone?
I'm too old for that.
Yeah, that's true. I had a younger cousin, so that's how I never.
Yeah, that's
I definitely
why.
didn't watch it myself when I was
Yeah.
10 or 12.
No, definitely not.
What? You know the whole song.
I feel like
So-
you kind of are whatever that guy is on it.
Steve.
Yeah, it's the one.
I'm not Steve.
All right.
I would not be caught dead wearing green stripes. I'd look down to make sure I'm not wearing green
I
stripes.
was like, anyway.
All right, so Sam asks, if you were a planeswalker, which one would you be?
I was saying you're.
There's like crickets. I'm like, I don't know.
I was saying Gabe's beard makes me think of Nicol Bolas. He's got a little bit of a bolus.
Really?
A bolus beard?
Yeah.
I thought it was his
bolus
horns.
beard?
Well, I didn't want to
What
call
about the
out
leathery
the horns.
wings? I mean,
Right.
I wanted to be.
What
I
about
didn't want to
the
be self-conscious about
floating
the 5 foot
orb
wings.
above
Right.
my head.
What about the dragon breath? I've been meaning to talk to you about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, there's a reason you sit in the middle, Cheryl, and I sit on this side.
No, I don't know which planeswalker I'll be. Let me think about this for just a second.
Good. I'm glad you didn't think before the podcast.
Yeah,
it's a
no.
good time to think.
Well,
on
we
the
just
podcast.
got this mail, so
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna be.
You put it on the
coming,
agenda. Did you
so-
think about it?
Yeah.
So who's your planeswalker? Who would I be?
Oh, what a
Yeah.
cop out.
It's not a cop out. I like it. All right. Mine would be Huatli, who was introduced in Ixalan's, which is a more recent one, solely for the reason that she is described as a warrior poet. And as someone who likes to battle it out on Magic and who has published a book of poetry and done poetry, I like that.
No, that's true.
She's really
She is kind of
badass.
your spirit planeswalker.
And she was a Boros planeswalker first, and that was one of the color combinations I really like lately.
You do sport one of her playmats.
It's true.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. I think that would be Arlen because I'm a little bit crazy.
Is that why we haven't
But I
seen you
usually
on once
can
a month
keep it
and
under
don't
control.
hang out with us?
Yeah, because once this feels like a weird period joke, and I'm not here for it.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I was thinking of the werewolves. Am I right? It was more of a full moon joke.
Which is today.
Right. I mean,
Is it?
Full moon today. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's gonna be dark soon. We need to.
Yeah, we gotta
this
wrap
the
this
fuck
thing
up.
up. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't know. This is tough for me. I don't know how to judge this, but I guess I'm
Chase.
baby, like the
Your baby Jace?
little whiny Jace,
But not Pirate
13-year-old
Jace.
Oh God, I wish I was Pirate Jace. It's
Everybody
so hot.
does.
Ripped pirate
God,
Chase.
ripped. That's who
Ooh.
I am. Is ripped pirate Jace with the hair
Let
blowing
him
in the
read
wind.
my mind.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Pirate Jace. One day maybe I'll get to be Pirate Jace, but I think for now I'm mostly 13-year-old whiny Jace. you
Yeah.
know?
We should probably in the future talk a little bit more about Whiny Jace and his origin story. Maybe we'll do that.
And that could be cool.
I mean, I could tell you all about it right now.
Let's do this throwdown.
I'm Jace. My life's so
Spot
terrible.
on.
Oh my god.
Maybe I could be Vraska.
I'm gonna make an
My cold
illusion.
I mean,
Stare.
you still do the pirate thing with the wind blowing your
blowing my
snake's hair.
snake's hair.
Snake
Yeah.
hair.
I think I look most like Oko.
You notice the long pause. Where I'm
Like I
just
never
like,
wear a shirt.
That is true.
Everybody thinks I'm an elf.
Right.
Everyone
I'm
hates
basically
you
a
behind your back into
Yeah.
your face.
You always bring elk to a party, whether they're invited or
Whenever
not.
I sit down to play Magic against somebody, they go, "Oh God."
Yeah. This is checking out.
Yeah.
I get called Chandra a lot.
That's true. You do get called Chandra a lot,
Yeah.
mostly by me.
Yeah, that's true. And you've convinced everyone else to call me Chandra.
Yeah, exactly.
For a while, you were in my phone, like the photo on your contact was Chandra Torture Defiance.
So maybe I am Chandra.
And then I started in my head mixing the names up. So I'm like, I gotta stop that because I want to not constantly call you Chandra.
Or just lean into it. Gabe doesn't even know my name.
It's Chandra.
It's true. I do have a fiery temper. I could be Chandra. I like that I picked like 3. I'm like, I could be these 3.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question, Sam.
Thanks for writing in, Sam. If you have questions for us, or if you have comments, or anything that you would like us to say on the air,
or to stop saying,
or stop saying on the air,
or if you have opinions on which planeswalker we are,
let us know.
Yeah,
that actually would be interesting.
It would be way more interesting. I feel like it's way more interesting to find out what other people think you are.
Subscribe and rate us on our rate our podcast on every platform you can, please.
Yeah. And we're on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, I think is the podcast over there. Those are the most common ones, but we're also on Stitcher, TuneFM.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Also, this is fun, we're on YouTube. We have our episodes up on YouTube. We haven't really done any marketing for that.
No, but there is just a picture of Gabe with his shirt off, smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
I did not okay that, but...
You O-code it.
Jesus. We're going to end this. Write to us at mountainpasspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at MTNPassPodcast. Tell your friends. Save me from this hell. I don't know how you would do that, but...
End of turn. Shock.